Hello, welcome back to Amy's Haven. On this video, I will be sharing with you my TGIF, my preparation for the Sabbath. I hope to share some inspiration with you and do some prayer and meditation with you as well. This week was the beginning of Celtic Advent. So Celtic Advent begins on the evening of the 15th of November, which was a few days ago now. And I'm using this book, Celtic Advent by David Cole, for my devotional this year. I've used it before and I shared this last week. David is a friend of mine from the community of Aidan and Hilda, and he's written quite a few lovely books. And today is the 20th of November. So I have found that really helpful this week going through. I usually do in the evenings, but for the sake of this video, I did it in the morning to share with you. And I've been recording my activities and my thoughts and my reflections and some drawings in my journal, which I'll share with you in a moment. So on Fridays, I have a look through my diary. I use this great big diary, and the reason I love it is because if you can see, I'll just show you a random page. It has one whole page for all of my activities and to-do lists, and then it has lots of columns on the other side. It has 5, and I have 2 children, so they each have a column. This is a few weeks in advance, and we don't have that much stuff going on at this point because we are in lockdown. And then I have my child-minding business, and then I can write menus and other to-do lists and things like that. So I love this diary, and it is from Mum's office. And it can be found, well, it can be found on mumsoffice.co.uk and Amazon and various places. So I check my diary, see what I'm supposed to be doing today and the next few days, and hopefully that's not too much, because I try not to plan too many things over the weekend so that I can take time to have a Sabbath rest. So for this weekend, I need to do some coursework and I need to take some rest. And in the rest time, I'm just planning to read some books and really take it easy. I can tell already today it's going to be just sort of grey, and I think it will rain, and I'm feeling quite tired. So I might not be as active today as intended. I usually do my errands. I usually do a little bit of house cleaning just to put things in order so I can rest for the weekend. I often prepare some food so that I don't need to do as much cooking, and we can basically have a nice free and easy time together. And we try to fit in some walks or something really nice like that. And I also, during my errands, make sure that we have a few special snacks, maybe some crisps or some chocolates or some biscuits, so that we have a few special snacks for our movie night, which we often do on Saturday night. And then we can just, have a nice cozy time. It's definitely a time to get cozy it's just so grey and miserable and it's getting cold. And so I have these candles which just have little switches on the bottom, so they're my cheap candles, but I love them. And some scented candles, and it's, you know, even though it's morning right now, we use some candles, and in the afternoon I stick these on. They're safe to use when childminding, though they're still out of reach, but I don't have the lit candles with small children around, and it's beautiful. I've really taken a lot of inspiration from Diane in Denmark, the fly lady videos that I watch from her, because she just, in Denmark, they love candles. So I've really taken some inspiration from her in terms of preparing, making sure that the home and we are ready for the day. And so getting dressed and lighting some candles and preparing our space and preparing ourselves. So those are my things for today. A quick tidy. I'm going to run out and do a few errands, go do some shopping, get a few bits and pieces like some pizzas and cereal and basic things like that. And then I can spend the rest of the day really preparing, reading, doing some meditation. I often do more cleaning, but today I just don't feel it today. I feel like getting cozy. I feel like really what I feel like doing is doing my stitching. I feel like doing some cross stitch. I don't feel like doing crochet. It's getting colder and my hands just they shut down in the winter, so I try to get a lot in the fall and in the spring, and then in the winter I start feeling it. So I need to just have a think about what I'll be doing today and how I'll be using my time. I invite you to do the same. If you are having a day where you just need some real rest, do that. If you're having a busy time, take some time this weekend to just spend a few hours or a whole day relaxing with a book or praying and meditating, just or going with the flow. So very much a going with the flow type of person, and I truly believe that if I'm productive on the days that I feel like being productive, I can get so much done. And if I really listen to my body and say, actually this week I think I overdid it with a few things, and so I really need to just take that time and rest and recuperate. So I'm going to be doing that in preparation so that I can enjoy the weekend and my Sabbath rest. So this week, I'll share with you, I just have some stickers. I mean, I'm not an expert at this, and I invite you to do the same, you know, just throw some stickers on there. I just get these from Wish. They're just things that are sitting around the house at this point. I found this wonderful stencil and it says faith, hope, and love. I don't know if you can read that. And just get out the pencils and markers, or get out the kids' markers and things like that, and just have some fun. And I just put aside a page for each day. Each year I do it differently, but this year I've just been writing the types of things I've been doing, just to kind of keep track of what am I doing. For instance, on Sunday the 15th, I watched Mass on YouTube from my local parish. We have a family Zoom call at it's 5 o'clock my time, and my family's all over the world. So we have family in Vermont, New Jersey, North Carolina, Texas, California, South Africa. I don't know, I've probably missed a few. and me in the UK. So we all gather, and we've been doing this since Easter, and it's been just the biggest blessing. And sometimes it might not even be anything special, but we all chat, and the kids come on and show us their favorite stuffed animals that week, and we end up having these conversations which sometimes last 2 or 3 hours on Zoom. So sometimes there's a few stragglers at the end, and there's maybe only 3 of us, and we start talking, I don't know, politics and all sorts of stuff like that. So that has been really, really a lovely blessing. Anyway, I had to cut that short because on Sunday I also did an Advent prayer service with some people, some from the community of Aidan and Hilda, and others who have just joined us. So we read from, as it happens, this book. And it was just a lovely time of gathering and reading and prayer and reflection together. So I just drew my little candle there. And on Monday, I just wrote down some of the things I did. Now, my artwork is not great, and so I'm just showing this to you, not to show it off because I don't feel like it's very good, you see. You know, it's just very simple. It's just that this is what I feel like doing. I feel inspired to do. And on Tuesday, I had my Bible study group, which is also on Zoom. It's a mother's, happens to be mother's, mostly home education Bible study group. There's only a few of us. We live fairly close together, but now we have to meet on Zoom. And lately we've been discussing the Sunday reading. So we discussed the parable of the 3 servants, and we started talking about what's a talent, and all of our different Bibles had different things, like I had gold coins or talents or what have you. So whenever I read that one, I always think of the field and greenery and burying gold coins in the field. And so anyway, there we go. I'm not saying that anything that I have is, correct. So we took in the Advent book on Wednesday, talked about John the Baptist, light to the world and showing the way, and I just sure he did not have a lantern like that. And on Thursday this is my very messy you're gonna wonder what the heck that is. Okay, so I will show you. On Wednesday and Thursday, we were meditating on this. Which is, now people pronounce it different ways. There is a proper Latin pronunciation, but people say Cairo or Chiro. Page. This is from the Lindisfarne Gospels. And we were contemplating what it meant and how beautiful it was. And I won't show mine again. So what's interesting is that on my course, my catechism course that I'm still completing right now, we're talking a lot about art and beauty. And what I found really interesting about this is that the gold really strikes you, because you think of these people who probably didn't have very much, ate very simple, and then they decorated their books with this gold, which must have cost some money and took lots and lots of time to do, or it would take me lots of time. You're never going to hire me to try to do some illuminated manuscripts. So the gold is really striking for me, especially because in our course that we're learning about how God is depicted, or Jesus is depicted, and holy things are depicted in art, is by using things that are like sort of glowing and gold, and a lot of religious art gets a lot of flack for having the people, and Jesus especially, depicted with very pale skin, and saying, oh, Jesus wasn't white and all that. Well, in liturgical in liturgical art, these art pieces which are used in churches for the mass, altar pieces and things like that, they use very specific colors for a very specific reason. For instance, Jesus is often really, really pale because he is depicted as the same color as the host. So the priest would hold up the host, and behind, because the priest used to have the back towards the congregation, and you'd hold up the host, and it would be the picture of Jesus right there, with Jesus being very pale, the same color as the host. And you'd notice that all the other people in the picture are not that same color. So the artist is not saying that everybody in that picture is white, because they're not. It's just that Jesus is almost glowing with this white, and then basically the Holy Spirit around him. So I just really felt like this just really highlighted, because Jesus is the Word, and we have been emphasizing in the class that when we see religious art, there's quite often religious art, especially in children's books and materials that we use to teach children. There'll be cartoons of Jesus, and sometimes they do have like a halo or other characters, saints and things. And sometimes the artist will show that this person is holy, that this is a very special event. And the way they do that is with color, with, if it's a cartoon, maybe it has to be a halo, or there's the dove, which symbolizes the Holy Spirit, and various elements. And so I find this just really interesting, that this just really speaks to me this week, in terms of these are words, and they're very, very special. And throughout the Lindisfarne Gospels, the Book of Kells, all of these books, the words are a lot more ornate than we have today in our Bibles. Okay, so they are more ornate. But in particular, I just find that the way that these artists have decorated and created this really special color and design, and I can't even go into all the symbolism of all the different creatures and swirls and patterns and things like that are there throughout these books. It just really struck me how special that these words are, that these are words from God. These words are so special to us, and we can treat them as such. Just really beautiful. And in years past, I have done a better job at doing some of the knotwork and things years ago, but I'm never going to be anywhere near good at it. But it's really fun to explore that and see what the meaning is in these. I definitely invite you to grab some of these pictures or books, get them online, and just have a play. Have a play with a pen and paper, or just sit and look and think about it. Okay, so then we've got to, so I played with that, and then we've got to Friday the 20th, and then I realized it is the 3-year anniversary of my moving into the house. So I started off with some stickers, and then I thought, oh my goodness, we moved in here, and then I started drawing the house. Which is, again, not a good drawing, but however, most of you who will take the time to sit and draw and putter in your books will, whether it's better than mine, which is probably true, or not, you probably won't be showing it to many people. So it's fine. It's just for you. And in many of my journals, I'm happy to get rid of them now. These special Advent journals like I had last year, I've been keeping these. So I do try to keep them tidier than my normal ones. But okay, I have some more space to fill in what happens for the rest of the day. So I've also put my friction erasable pens in there. I haven't used them yet, but, and my fine liners. These are really fine liners, just to say. And I'd like to share a few other things with you before we start prayers. I have a friend and we sometimes exchange books, so I've got this one she gave to me. In fact, I know nothing about it. She just dropped it off on the doorstep the other day at socially distanced. And it's called A Lineage of Grace by Francine Rivers. 5 Unlikely Women Who Changed Eternity. Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba, and Mary. So that sounds really interesting. 5 women whom God chose. Tamar, betrayed by the men who controlled her future. She fought for her right to believe in a loving God. Rahab, a woman with a past to whom God gave a future. Ruth, she gave up everything, expecting nothing, and God honored her. Bathsheba, her beauty stirred the passion of a king. Her pain moved the heart of God. All eternity had been waiting for this moment. God chose one woman, Mary. A 6-part Bible study included with each woman's story, perfect for personal study or group discussion. Francine Rivers, winner of the ECPA Gold Medallion, has been writing for more than 20 years. Her books have received numerous awards and have endeared her to millions of readers. So this is interesting. We don't share a lot of books on religion between the two of us. She and I both grew up Catholic, and she is more evangelical now. And so sometimes we just don't have quite the same types of interest in books. We're interested in different books, I should say. However, I'm going to have a look at this. I might not use this during Advent because I have a lot of other things going on, but we'll see. I'll let you know how that goes. And this week I also got the Redemptorist catalog. So this is definitely in the UK. They have a website. I'll put it down below. They have Twitter and all sorts of things. I don't have any of those things. Okay, so their website is www.rpbooks.co.uk. Is this backwards for you? I'm not sure. Put it down below. And because I teach in my church, I sometimes get books, and then I've been receiving this catalog, and I just love it. I have such a huge wish list from it. It's just not my budget right now. And this is a company that gives out like those little booklets you sometimes get at church. If you're a priest or vicar, somebody gives out like Advent little booklets or Lent booklets. And they have, I got this last year. I'm not going to get it this year, although I'm tempted because it's all with art. It's all this diary. It's only £7.96, first of all. And I've showed you my one for this year in the past. It's A5 diary, double page spread. And it's full of artwork that depicts Mary. And then it has reflections and readings and things throughout the diary. So it's beautiful. And as I said, we've been studying a lot of art in my catechism course. So I've just really got interested in that lately. There are so many books for Advent, and for most of you, you don't start Advent for another couple weeks, so you have time to order. But this is another, these books by Sister Wendy Beckett, who did all those series on religious art, which at the time I was only half interested in and didn't really watch much. The new directory for catechesis is in here. This catalogue is full of things for people who are Catholic, but also Anglican. And I'm sure that any Christian would find, or non-Christian, would find really lots of lovely books in here. There are so many Advent devotionals. There's a whole page. And another page. Okay, I'm sort of eyeing this up. Maybe I'll do it next year. It's Advent and Christmas, one day at a time for Catholic teens. It's £1.95, so it's just one of those little booklets. There are loads of things for individuals, for families, for teens, and the books for children, I'm not sure if they're there's definitely devotionals for families. And there's lots of these lovely books, like The Animals Christmas, which is a storybook, and they have cards and coasters and banners and all sorts of things. Lots of children's books, The Christmas Promise, Pirate Christmas, Hoity Toity Angel, lots of Advent calendars. They have chocolate Advent calendars. They're £4, and they have the Advent book with it. So they have the chocolate and they have the book. So each day you read a page. Loads of books. This is where I get my missals for the kids, so they can follow along with maths. The kids I teach. And there's lots of wonderful things that are like coloring in, and the Brother Francis DVDs. That's on my wish list to get, because I think that might make teaching easier. Let Brother Francis do some of it. Then the Rosary, different books, children's Bibles, children's books. I want to show you, and some toys as well. There's some toys like Noah's Ark and things like that. Nice. I want to get to show you, and books for adults. There's a lot of these things that you could do, especially with small groups, or you can do with your family, and they are like the Jessie tree, and instead of doing it yourself, you can get the book, and then you can get this thing where you just cut out the little bits and then stick them on your little paper tree. So these are nice activities. There's a Noah's Ark one. There's various things. So they're activity sheets. And for instance, that activity tree was 90p. So you could probably, if you had a class of 6 or 12 or something like that, you could probably spring for that. And and give it to them to bring home, for instance. Or you could just buy one for your one child in your own home. So it's one of the things I really like about this company is that you can order one or you can order 100. Here, how lovely are the branches each day of Advent. Open the ornament windows on this pop-up tree and discover the meaning of the symbols as they pop up through the seasons of Advent. So it's sweet. And they do discounts for more copies. So this company caters for the family and also for church groups. And so if you have more on this page, for instance, 50 to 99 copies has a 10% discount. But if you have 200 copies or more, it's a 25% discount. So it's quite a lot. So if you're ordering a lot, that's easy. Now, there's also Advent sticker sheets, games. I love these angels, which it would be really cute to get a few and then, you know, stick them in. There's holy socks, in case you need holy socks. I'm highlighting, they do Christmas cards and they do a few crosses. These I think are fair trade crosses, hand painted. They do a lot of the calendars, diaries, a Bible diary here, music. This is another thing on my wish list that it's going to be a long time and maybe a lottery win before I could get this. This is £99, but it's a journaling Bible. They sell missals and books for adults and books that are not Christmas related. Lots and lots of lovely things. Another thing, this is on my wish list. Small, simple ways. An Ignatian Day Book for Healthy Spiritual Living. £11.95. Now, I have 2 books. On Ignatius. I have 2 books already, so I have to wait a while. This looks good. The Caregiver's Companion, a Christ-centered journal to nourish your soul. For caregivers. That's really sweet. So there's low, and they also sell the UCAT books. So the UCAT for kids is not available everywhere. So the Redemptorist has it. And I recommend it if you are Catholic and are working with children or have children. Okay, so that was a rather long introduction to the Redemptorist catalog. I only get it, it only comes a few times a year. So you don't need to worry about that. I'm going to share with you now the gospel reading from this coming Sunday, because I think that might be a really nice way to contemplate, to reflect, maybe draw, and really think about this weekend. It's from Matthew 25, verses 31 to 46. The Judgment of Nations. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations, and he will separate them one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep at his right hand, but the goats at the left. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, O blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these of my brethren, you did it to me." Then he will say to those at his left hand, "Depart from me, you cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me." Then they also will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger or naked, or sick or in prison, and did not minister to you?" Then he will answer them, "Truly I say to you, as you did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me." And they will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. I believe that to be a very powerful message, and I'll leave you to contemplate on that. I will play some music so you can have 5 minutes of meditation, and you can think about that and plan the rest of your day and plan for a truly blessed Sabbath.